Hey, good afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon, Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, it's the 8th of February, and I hope you got your popcorn, your chicken wings, whatever you want, your beer, whatever, whatever makes you happy, in place. Or maybe you're not even going to follow it, you know? You don't have to watch the Super Bowl. A lot of people only want to know what the commercials are like. They like to watch them commercials. So, you can get that online anyway without watching a Super Bowl. But I will probably, I've got chicken wings in the icebox. So I'll probably watch it, part of it anyway. Oh, by the way, this is Bible Boz Blues in the News. Welcome to the show. I just want to get out of here for a few minutes and tell you what I'm thinking about the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Super Bowl. I'm thinking about geopolitics again. I often think about geopolitics and the world and current events. It can be very depressing. It can be very frustrating. It can be very annoying. It can be very frightful. But you have to be aware, especially today, more so than ever, because there's a lot going on. Anyway, you want to look at it. And there's a lot of danger you want to avoid if you can help it. And the world could either go in the right direction, and that's world peace. Trump wants to be the peacemaker, right? Or it can go in the wrong direction, and it'll be all war. Some people say we already are in World War III. People like Trump. They criticize Trump. They say he's doing the right thing. They say he's doing the wrong thing. There are pros and cons. I supported Trump right from the beginning because I didn't like the way the left in the West. I didn't like the way they were going, in the direction they were going into. Of course, they were too extreme. And they're only getting more and more extreme. They're only getting more and more violent, more and more angry, more and more enraged. And we're almost in a civil war in this country. I'm a musician, and I, follow the trends, more or less. But I see a lot of bands, like famous bands, were thinking about touring the States, but I put it off because there's so much volatility. Now, I hope there's no volatility. I hope there's no surprises at the Super Bowl. There could be, there were riots at the beginning of the Olympics. Was it Friday night? It started. So there are a lot of people who are angry and for various reasons, because maybe they're not making the money that they wanted to make, or their life is not as comfortable if they would like it to be, as they would like it to be. And they play the victim card. I would have this if it wasn't for that. Or I would be like him, a superstar, but I got screwed by a Jew. Or something like that. Or because of my race. I'm black, so I have no chance of succeeding in life. Or my mother abused me when I was a kid. There are all kinds of excuses you can use for feeling oppressed, feeling like the victim, etc., etc. But really, when you get down to it, there's only one person responsible for your state of being, mentally anyway. It's you yourself. And you might have health issues, you might have other issues that's beyond your control, and I can sympathize with you. But in this country of the United States of America, which is the freest country on earth, still, even though with all its chaos and troubles, it's still the freest country on earth. If you have to play the victim, you have a problem mentally. You have a mental problem. It's funny, in China, they think if you believe in God, you have a mental problem. That's why they destroy all the religions. If you don't believe in the supreme leader, Xi Jinping, you have a mental problem. But in the West, where we believe in the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the freedom to think the way you wanted to think, and to do what you want to do in the confines of the law, of course, you have only one person to blame if you're in a certain situation that you don't like. You can't blame other people, other ethnic groups, for your mental health, or mental well-being. You only have yourself to blame. Of course, God, you can't take him out of the picture, and he has a lot of power. And if you have faith in God, I like to think that you'll end up on the winning side. And you have to have patience with God. And you have to realize everything is for a reason. And what seems bad right now is really for your own benefit. And you have to believe in the good things, in love, charity, peace, getting along with people. But also you have to fight for your rights. And it's a struggle for everybody, no matter what your station in life is. So don't play the victim. And unfortunately, the media, the universities, a lot of corporate America, a lot of establishment organizations preaches this philosophy that you have a right to complain, and that if you're not where you should be in life, where you think you should be in life, is because of injustice in the world. And it could be the case if you live in the Congo or somewhere like that. But if you live in the United States of America, you've got all the rights in the world. You've got the Constitution. You've got the Bill of Rights. You've got the foundation of this country, which was built on democracy, not pure democracy, it's a republic, but on, representative. You have a representative to represent you in Congress. You have a voice, and you have the right to speak up, to speak what you believe in. You have the right to bear arms. You have a lot of rights. And what you do with your life is up to you. And you really are free in this country to do what you want to do, more or less. So you can't complain, but you have to follow the money. Because the money will make you change your mind. There are people who are being brainwashed. And they're being brainwashed by people who are being paid by nefarious forces. You can think of China, you can think of Russia, you can think of the Muslim Brotherhood, you can think of the globalists, you can think of many segments of society that want the West to fall. So and they don't think they need to come in and invade the country, which would be hard to do, right? The United States of America, the great United States of America, but they can infiltrate the country, which they have done well, and they can take over the country from sowing discord, from preaching propaganda, by spreading fake news, and anti-Semitism as well as part of that. Anything they can do to cause chaos in the country. So most people have no clue. No clue how this country has been infiltrated. And there are groups like Antifa and these anti-ICE groups are being supported, encouraged to do what they do against ICE and against the government and against law and order. And a lot of them are getting paid well. It's very organized. And it's for a purpose. The purpose is to bring down the United States of America. And they're doing a good job. So there's a lot of rage and anarchy in the air. Now, Trump, of course, is trying to push back. And in some ways, he's doing a very good job. And his general philosophy is believe that you make people prosperous if you spread wealth around the world, if you build trade. I know he's got a lot of tariffs going on, but it's mainly to get free trade. And so if you help people become prosperous, you will have peace in the world. But he doesn't always understand the ideologies, or maybe he does understand the various ideologies at play. I'm sure he has a lot of good advisors, unless he's got probably a lot of bad advisors. Because you have to understand the way other people think. The Chinese do not think like we do here in the United States of America. And the Muslims, the Muslim Brotherhood, and the Iranians do not think like we think in the United States of America. And the Russians don't think like we think here in the United States of America. So the cultures are very different in other parts of the world. So you have to understand the differences. You have to understand what they think, how they think, and their habits and inconsistency, the way they act, to understand who you're dealing with. So I hope Trump is being careful in that regards. And maybe that's one reason why he doesn't want to go into Iran right now, because, I think they should attack in some ways, because I think those people need to be revenged. But if you go in the wrong way, more bad elements could take over, and you could have, I don't know if you can get a worse scenario than what you got now in Iran with the mullahs, how crazy they are, but there are other terrorists, like, the Sunnis. The Iranians are Shia, and they're also Sunni Arabs who hate the Shia. So the Sunnis could take over from the Shia in Iran, and then you would have still an Islamic terrorist country. But we'll see where it goes. Anyway, enjoy the Super Bowl game, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Bob on Bob's Blues and the News.